Meeting will come to order, please. The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act for this meeting have been satisfied. Would you take a second, turn off electronic equipment as we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Attention, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call the roll, please.
Mayor Becker?
Here.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Here.
Commissioner Blumberg?
I'm here.
Mr. Abbott is not here, so why don't we start with department head reports. Frank, do you want to start, please?
The past couple of weeks, we've been very busy on the beach. We've been moving things around because of the construction of the dunes. We still have 3 beach cleaning machines down there, and we anticipate starting to put things back, hopefully before the weekend, starting on Fredericksburg Avenue, working our way to Delavan. We also ordered 3 new tractors this week because we need them to maintain the dunes, especially in the back of them. They're little track skid steer tractors, which we're going to be able to maneuver around back there pretty good. In the water and sewer department, we been very busy. There's a lot of new homes going up, and we did some repairs out in the street. That's all I have.
Frank, thank you. Roger.
Thank you, Mayor. Planning board applications have slowed down a little bit, but the inspections are on fire still. And it's not too soon to start thinking about 2018 contracts for purchasing, so I think we'll keep that on the burner. And that's pretty much it for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. Ed.
Okay, the construction's winding down on the street projects, as well as the park project, the basketball court, and the gas company work. They should be finished now, today, all the striping, and there's still resident complaints, little punch list items, but we're dealing with them. But essentially, things have calmed down for the summer, and we have projects that'll continue or start up again in the fall.
Thank you, Ed. Rich?
As become custom in this state, taxes are normally due quarterly, and the next taxes are due August 1st. In order for people to pay their taxes, they have to have tax bills. In order to have tax bills, we have to have a tax rate. We still do not have, but expect to have within a day or two, the official tax rate promulgated by the county and signed by the County Board of Tax Assessors. Our tax collection office is prepared for that. They've been in touch with our people that print our bills. So I would expect within the next week, we will have a schedule that will be firm. And because of my absence next week, I asked the tax collector to just double check with you, Commissioner, as a Commissioner of Revenue and Finance, just to, she'll feel better if she does, just to authorize the actual printing of the tax bill.
Right. Thank you. I talked to her prior to the meeting,
Thank you.
so ready to go.
And there should be a resolution then on the agenda for the next week, setting the date that the taxes would be due. They would be normally due August 1st, with August 10th being the penalty date. Obviously, they'll be extended. It is likely they'll be extended to the very close to the end of the month when they would be due. There will be sufficient time after the bills go out for people to make arrangements to make their payments. But just to let you know where the status of that is. Thank you.
Thank you, Rich. Maureen?
Everything's fine in the court, just really busy, but everything's up to date and we're handling it, so status quo.
Thank you. Chief Wilson?
Everything's fantastic in the police department.
Lisa? Is everything fantastic?
Everything is super fantastic in finance. Couldn't be better. Just a couple of things I want to point out to you. I emailed to each of the commissioners and a few others 6-month finance report. Rich has asked that I'll posted to the website, so I'll get that on by next week. It just basically shows our 6-month budget status. I don't anticipate any problems. We're right in line where we should be budget-wise. And our cash position, though, overall, our total cash for all of our funds is just under 6.8 million, which is up about $1 million from this point in time last year. However, in our capital fund, our cash is low. There's only a couple $100,000 in there, and we have capital projects that we need to fund in the upcoming year. So I've authorized for us to issue some bond anticipation notes for $6,750,000. A notice of sale was published today. We're going to sell on them July 26th and close on August 9th. I'll let you know what the results are. But that is going to provide temporary financing for capital projects that have been authorized by ordinance mainly this year and last year. You can roll them over for a period of 10 years, and then you have to permanently finance them within 10 years, but we'll probably most likely go out and issue bonds maybe 3 to 4 years from now. So I'll keep you posted as to the results of the notes. And then hopefully the tax bills will go out soon because, right now it's always tough with cash flow this time of year, especially if there's a delay in the tax bills. But we're good for this bill list. I think we'll be fine at the next bill list. But hopefully, taxes are going to start coming in soon. And I do know that, our taxpayers are great. We have a very high collection rate. And actually, people are anxious to pay their taxes, which is a good thing. But I am in communication with Linda, collector as well, so she's been keeping me posted. Another bit of good news, right? Keep the good news going. I think the end is in sight for those post-Sandy grants. So out of the $300,000 that was awarded to the city, now we didn't spend the whole $300,000 because some of the the invoices didn't quite total that. It was a little less. We've started to receive payment for 2 out of 2 of the 6 projects. So to date, I have just over 91,000 collected, and I submitted invoices on the remaining ones except for one project. I'm just waiting for their approval of this final deliverable. So that is moving along and hopefully will be put to rest very soon. Let's see what else. Last thing I want to mention to you is that we were contacted by this organization, National Fitness Campaign. They reached out to Johanna and she gave me the information, and I viewed some correspondence, and I had a conference or a phone call with one of the representatives who they want to know. They reached out to 100 cities nationwide, and they have they're giving out $110,000 grants for municipalities that they think would be a good fit to build this state-of-the-art outdoor fitness court. I spoke to Andrew Miles about it very briefly. I just received the information, and Andrew is excited. He's on board. His staff is on board. They think it would be a great fit for Margate. In speaking with the woman briefly, and I will forward you the emails, and I could pass this around, but this is basically what it is. I'm sorry, I only printed one. It's an outdoor facility. They just asked that it would be visible. They want it in plain sight, which I know is a little bit of a challenge, but Andrew said he had some good ideas and he was going to think about it. He's away for a few days now. The woman said the cost is about $90,000. We could get a $10,000 grant. The only additional costs would be a concrete foundation and installation. And the only other criteria is that it be completed by 2018. So she's going to follow up with me next week. I told her that we had a meeting. I would be presenting it to see if it's something, first of all, that you're interested in, and to see whether or not you want to pursue it. I personally think it's a great idea. She said, you know, the few that they have installed have been extremely successful. Now, I know she said they were in California. I don't know if there's been any other locations as of yet. They go around raising money, and that's how they're able to give these grants. So, the size of it is 32 by 35, and they recommend putting it on a 38 by 38 concrete pad. So if it's something that you're interested in, I could get more information. I could get an application for the grant. I really do think it's a good idea. I don't know, Andrew's first inclination was to perhaps use a portion of where the T-ball field is. I don't know if there's any restrictions with Green Acres, I don't know.
We'd have to find out.
But, you know, I don't know where else you might be, you know?
T-ball court?
Yeah, T-ball on Jerome Avenue.
Well, I think there's other plans in the works for that.
Okay, but I don't know if there's any, maybe Ed has other recommendations. I mean, it's 38 by 38, so it's not a
It's not
huge
huge.
area. Maybe playground by the police department might be a good location. I don't know, I'm sure we could find a spot if it's something that you're interested in, because I
You
think a
okay
lot of
going
our,
forward?
Let's look
our
at it.
residents are health conscious, I believe.
Keep in touch with the lady.
Okay, so you want me to proceed? Okay. That's all I have, unless you have any questions.
Thank you, Lisa.
Okay,
Any
thank
questions?
you.
Sir?
It may be not necessary to clarify, but every time we talk about going out for financing, I just want to remind the public that all of these projects have been approved, as Lisa indicated. There are ordinance behind all these projects, which means that they're funded, which means they're already counted in our debt. We just haven't borrowed any money against it. We were authorized to issue bonds or notes, and what Lisa's recommending is now time to go and actually borrow the money, which we've been authorized to do. So this is not new money. I know everybody here knows that, but I guess that's the question.
Thank you, Rich. Tony?
Things in the fire department are good, Mayor, and I'm going to leave it at that today.
Thank you.
Tony,
Yes.
on the beach, there've been a lot of questions come to our office relative to the beaches that are open. In terms of safe for swimming, all the beaches are safe for swimming, all the beaches are open, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, we posted on our website the report from the Atlantic County Health Department that indicates that, and I'm just saying that publicly so that it is on our website if you want to know about whether the beaches are open. And we've gotten, you probably haven't too, but we've gotten a few inquiries
Yes.
relative to that.
Yes. I'm glad you brought that up, Rich. Thank you.
Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Tony. Johanna?
We got the final signed contract for the elevators to be inspected by Atlantic City, so that's a go for August 1st, Jim?
Yep.
Yes, so all the paperwork's done, i's are dotted, t's are crossed. State has released us from their inspections. They will continue with the ones that they began, and the city of Atlantic City will start with the new ones. And other than that, the clerk's office is great.
Thank you, Johanna. Scott?
Couple things, Mayor and Commissioners and members of the public. We have ordinance number 15 of 2017. And Dave, I'm hoping that you and Jimmy and Roger are happy with this wording. What we're doing is we're going to control and limit the use of pods. You know, some people have abused it where they put these pods in the street and the neighbors complain and it's unsightly. So this will limit it to maximum 7 days in a streetway, 15 days on private property with the ability to extend it one additional 15-day period. If you're happy with that, that's the, you're introducing that ordinance tonight. There's a few resolutions on here that are worthy of mention. We have the agreement coming up with Stockton Coastal Research Center for a development of a joint watershed management plan. I don't think I can endorse this any stronger than I possibly could. I love the idea that we're working with Stockton Coastal Research Center, and we're talking about cleaner waters, as Rich just went over. One of the issues there is what can Margate continue to do and further do to make sure the waters, that's our ocean and bay waters, are as clean as possible. We're looking at also at Resolution number 133. Some people might be surprised to learn that Margate provides sewer service to some homes in Ventnor, 20 of them, has for years. We're memorializing it and putting it into an agreement authorized by this resolution. We charge Ventnor what we charge our own homeowners as well, and it can be terminated with notice. I believe it's 90-day notice I put in there. So it's another one of the interlocal agreements where the two communities are working together to service their public. We also have one other, or actually two others I hope that you'll approve tonight. You saw Ed's resolution that he drew, 140, authorizing the final change order for the work here on our city hall. At Rich's guidance, he wanted a resolution, which you don't normally see, but this is actually a great idea, to confirm the acceptance of work as complete so that you establish a date for when the maintenance bond goes into effect for this building. So that's resolution number 141. And Ed's office helped me with this, and it's short but very effective, and it establishes that date that Rich has been talking about, and I think it'll work very well to do that. And one other thing, Mayor, as you'll recall, we had an oceanfront property owner, probably everybody sees this home under construction, where the individual at Rumson and the Beach agreed to rebuild to current standards of elevation 13, a brand new bulkhead. The bulkhead was approximately 75 feet. It was on city property, a strip of land about 6.5 foot wide. The individual who was building the home also paid the city additional compensation of $20,000 plus the cost of this bulkhead, which I think we estimated at about $1,500 a foot, a little bit over $100,000. Plus he replaced his own bulkhead, which was on our ocean front. So when you look at that bulkhead, that's elevation 13. That's what our ordinance says to do. This is another one of those small skinny parcels that was between a bulkhead and property line. We now have additional oceanfront protection with a brand new elevated bulkhead. This resolution will now authorize the mayor, if you pass this tonight, to convey title to that strip of land. I have the subdivision plan here if you want to take a look at it if there's any question. But this, John, I think this actually started maybe before you got involved with the office. We have a number of these parcels on the oceanfront. They're narrow. They're not really as wide as this table on this one. And we want to get these new bulkheads put in, and it didn't cost the city any money at all. So it was kind of a good thing, and we're moving forward. That's it.
Thank you, Scott. Good job. Jimmy?
Just want to dovetail what Roger said. We're busy with the construction.
Let's go back to it. No, let's do it.
We're seeing a lot of construction sites are well maintained now. You can see the old synagogue lot is pretty well maintained, and now the Blessed Sacrament lot is finally starting to grow some grass. So I think we're on our path to getting a lot of these construction sites maintained in a good manner. That's all I have to report.
Okay.
Got one more, Mayor. Commissioner Blumberg just tapped me on the shoulder and said, wait, what about this resolution? This is the temporary license to allow the enclosure for the property at 8001-8011 Ventnor Avenue. We have an issue there with our recycle and trash. The property owner wants to build some type of temporary enclosure. I redrafted the resolution rather than have this go another few weeks. I know some neighbors were complaining. This is good to go tonight. We can give them, I talked to the lawyer. He said, could you give me 90 days instead of 60? Make sure we get the plans right. They'll go to the planning board. It's conditioned upon planning board approval. If the planning board says no, they have to pull it out at their expense. What they want to do is really clean up an unsightly situation with their recycle and trash area. So I'd ask you to pass what is now labeled Resolution 145-217. It's a 90-day license, subject to planning board approval.
John, you have
You
that?
good with it?
Okay, good.
Okay, great.
Added.
Right. Good.
Jimmy, I think we have a question.
Yeah, first off, I just want to thank Jim for all the work he did during the demolition of the temple on Ventnor Avenue between Kenyon and Lancaster Avenue. We finally have a nice parcel cleaned up and no hazards to the general public, which we were very concerned about due to the asbestos discovered during the original demolition process, which delayed the project. But in a short, timely fashion after all the obstacles that we were faced with. We have a vacant piece of property ready for development. So that at least created a safe environment for our general public, and the eyesore is gone. Jimmy, I did want to, while we have Scott here, I continually get calls from the residents at Exeter Court, and there is no existing construction permit for that project that has been abandoned for 3 years. I want to put on the record to allow Scott to start the process of what we need to do in reference to a house raising that never got past the point of the house being raised, and it's been sitting idle there with no work being performed for over 3 years.
Well, I think we went out with the demolition notices. We'll renew those one more time and put that in.
Do we have to go to court? My question is, do we have to take the owner of the property to court?
You gotta go to Superior Court.
Well, under our ordinance, we do have the authority to go forward and tear, but you run the risk of whoever holds that mortgage, which I understand it's in foreclosure. In fact, as I understand, it's very close to sheriff's sale. So that you're gonna have a lender taking back that property.
Well, if that's the case, in other words, you're telling me that house is in foreclosure?
Yes, sir. That's my understanding, yeah.
Okay, all right. Well,
I'll tell
you
what
have
we'll
to
do.
give us guidance on it.
We'll find out who the attorneys are on the foreclosure and notify them.
Yes.
But there is
At least we need some action.
That'll be a
to-
record by now. In fact, I think it's very close to sheriff's sale.
All right, well, that's fine. We just need some action so the residents know what the process is. And now that you tell me that, I will send an email to one of the gentlemen that's been in constant
And I'll
contact with me.
confirm it too, but I've been told by very reliable sources, that's where that is.
Okay, very good. So
Okay.
that answers my question there. Thank you.
Thank you. Marty, you have anything? Frank's, we started with Frank.
Oh, okay. Well, that was a long time ago.
Yes. Fred. Fred, do you have anything?
Excuse me?
Do you have anything?
I have nothing to report this meeting, Mayor. Thank you very much.
How unusual.
Okay, so, yes, Mike, I have a couple of things. I too would like to thank Jim and Steve and his entire team. They are very, very, very busy in the summer with, trying to make sure that the city looks nice. And whenever I have or bring something to his attention, he immediately addresses it and gets it taken care of. And so for that, I want to thank you and your team. Great job. My second item is related to the purchasing of the vehicles that we're going to need to clean the beach. And although I don't think we'll have any luck, my suggestion would be that we go to the state, we petition the state and tell them that we want them to pay us, reimburse us for that cost. So if you guys are in agreement, maybe we could have Scott pen a letter to them and let them know that we want to be compensated for the purchase of those.
Good
And
with that, Scott?
I'm great with that. Yeah, absolutely.
and then in addition, we're in, as part of the same letter, I believe that the same situation exists for the mats that we're gonna buy. And that's 136,217, right? So we're getting new mats to help the people get over the dunes or to the dunes? Is that why we're doing the mats?
I was under the impression the Army Corps is supplying us
They're not
mats.
putting them over the dunes.
But we don't need mats on the dune.
Well,
You have I-5, which is a material that is,
Right.
but no, I think these
Suitable
30
for
mats, aren't these 30 mats to get us to the dune, right?
no, the Army Corps
The
supplies
Corps is going from the steps or the handicap access.
the ramp.
To the ramp.
To the ramp.
Right.
So these 30 are in addition to ones that we already, we provide.
We would put them on the ocean side of the dune, walking down towards the beach.
Okay, so again, I think we should ask for compensation.
Hey, I have no problem.
Right?
Scott?
I love it.
Okay, Cool.
Doesn't hurt to ask.
Okay, and so then, on a much, much lighter note and a way less expensive one, I want to wish Lucy the elephant a happy birthday, which is tomorrow, and everybody that's listening Saturday. I keep thinking today's Friday. Maybe it's such a good week. It's Saturday. They're cutting the cake at 3 o'clock, so anybody that likes cake can come eat cake. It's a great time if you have kids or grandkids. Come out. They do a really nice job there. So happy birthday, Lucy, and that's all I have. No.
He broke.
I don't think any of us were.
He turned the first shovel of dirt.
Although I saw her moved a couple of times.
I saw her move once.
So, I'm good. John, you have anything?
Yes, Mayor, I do want to mention something. On Monday night, I had the opportunity to go and speak to the Concerned Citizens group at the library. I think there was 35, 40 people in attendance, and to give them updates on the dunes, and they did ask a lot of questions with hopes that they could progress with the construction of a miniature golf course here in the city of Margate in the near future. We had a great dialogue. I've been in touch with a national company, and I can't bring the name to my... Harris, yes. And what I'd like to do for Commissioner Blumberg and Mayor Becker is in the next month and a half, be able to bring the representative for the East Coast here to a commission meeting to propose and show us samples. He has a very great illustration of the different golf courses they have built across the country and overseas. And the programs they put forth. They enter into public-private partnerships. They come in on public property, build out at their total expense. If we want them to operate it, and then they would, over a period of time, pay off, and then we would eventually become owners. There's all sorts of options. The Concerned Citizens did approach Andrew Miles, and his recommendation at that time was to be able to build it on the T-ball court on Jerome Avenue between the tennis courts and the basketball courts, which is really the perfect fit right in the center of our main corridor coming into the city of Margate, that we would have another activity for our youth here in the city. And it all goes back to that meeting in June when we had that young man here, and our police department stepped up to the plate and you had one successful dance, right?
Yes, and it was a great turnout.
Great turnout, and we're looking forward to the next two, if I can recall. There's another one in July, or 3 more. So again, our youth in our town, the kids that grow up here, are looking for activities, and I think the Concerned Citizens have, they're willing to work with us, they're willing to help us through the course, and I think it would be a good venture for the city of Margate, because growing up here back in the 50s and 60s, I do recall at least 4 miniature golf courses. Actually, where Party Pack was, where Wawa across the street was a golf course. Am I right, Scott?
Yeah, I remember that.
You're the historian.
Yeah.
So with that said, I will set it up with Joanna when the time comes that I can bring a representative in and they can show us their product and we can, get a better idea. Mayor, that's all I have to report.
We will now open for public comment. As usual, you have 3 minutes to comment on anything was discussed previously at this meeting. Is there any public comment? If there is, please come to the microphone, state your name and address, please.
That's working.
No.
Should tell her at the 5 o'clock meeting.
At the 5 o'clock meeting, which is probably going to be in 10 minutes, you can talk about it. Just things that were discussed here today. Okay. Any public comment?
Leonard Grossman, 112 South Lancaster Avenue, a full-time summer resident for about 4 months, for about over 30 years. I'd like to thank Frank for his careful attention to keeping the end of our street clean. He did an incredible job very, very quickly, and I thank you very much, Frank. The second thing is just a suggestion. I noticed that there are a lot of groups that exercise on the beach in the mornings, all over our beach. And if you're considering an exercise pad, I notice other cities around the world have their exercise beach pads right on the beach, which is attracts more and more people. And it'll be, I think it'll probably be used more than if it's back near Jerome Avenue somewhere. My third comment is on the water quality. It's my understanding, I think Rich went over it, that the water is tested by the state of New Jersey.
By the county.
By the county, thank you. Is that on a weekly basis?
Every Monday.
Every Monday?
Every Monday, and if there's a problem, they come back and check it.
Is that reported somewhere on
It's
the
on the
internet?
website.
On Margate's website?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is also, if there is a warning, is that also published on the website, or is there some kind of?
We really haven't had a warning, but if we do have one, we would post it on the website.
Yeah,
and
there
send
was
it.
some kind of blog on the internet saying that the beach was closed and that there was a higher bacteria count where they're dredging. It was like 34 compared to 10. I don't know if it's accurate or if somebody's just putting stuff up.
I don't believe that those numbers are accurate. There was something that, at the very beginning, when they were pumping a lot of water in, that they had a high count, but they came back the next day, the count was fine.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Any other public comment?
Dr. Don Crutchman, 7603 Atlantic Avenue. In reference to the purchase of tractors for the area between the bulkhead and the new dunes. For those of us who live in the northern section of the city, that is really impacted now for this dune construction. C streets are still closed. B streets, I'm not sure. I didn't see, they're still roped off. A street is open. We don't see this moving so quick. And we have grandchildren, children, people who are coming now for the summer. I know it's in the middle of the construction, but we would like to see those mats out in that wasteland between the bulkheads and the dunes ASAP.
Doctor, as soon as they open the beaches, we should be able to do that. Yeah. That's not a problem.
Okay.
Public Works is prepared. Any other public comment? Is there a motion to close?
Steve Warner, 103 North Sumner Avenue. A couple things. First of all, I think that Len's idea about the pad on the beach is a really good idea for the exercise. I've seen things like exercise programs where the beach and you have the palm trees in the background, and it looks great.
We don't have palm trees.
Well, we could get one, you know, get a couple.
They went down by the greenhouse.
Yeah, that's number one. And number two, I appreciate, John, you taking the time to work on this miniature golf course. I think it's really going to be a great thing for the city. And I think you'll be surprised. It's not going to be just little kids that are going to be there. You're going to see young adults. You're going to see 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds. A lot of people, 50-year-olds, 70-year-olds. You're going to find a lot of people that are going to want to use this. And I think it'll be a terrific thing. And you get more utilization of the space. I appreciate your work on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Anyone else care to speak? Is there a motion to close public comment?
So moved.
Second.
Johanna?
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Is there a motion to close?
I'll make that
Adjourn this-
motion.
I've one
Second.
thing.
Oh,
One second.
wait.
I just got an email. We had a request from a contractor that's going to be painting Margate Towers, I guess 9400 Atlantic and Adams. They need to disconnect the light on the beach while they're painting. And the electric company said they had to get permission from us. They have to take the wire down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take care of that. We'll take
So
it.
we're good with that? Okay.
Okay. Motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
John?
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Okay, we will take a